Here are 84 facts about every mob in Minecraft. Let's get into it. Zombies are one of Minecraft's infamous mobs, but did you know that zombies can be immune to the sun burning them if they simply stand in cobwebs? Don't ask me how this makes any sense. But what does make sense is that 89% of skeletons hold their bow in their right hand, but 11% hold it in their left, as this is meant to represent the estimated handedness percentages in the real world. A pretty cool feature if you ask me. On Monday, June 18th, 2012, a creeper was sent above the clouds close to space by a collaboration with the University of Southampton's Physics Society and Cambridge University Spaceflight Society. It was a pretty nice scene to say the least. Speaking of stuff floating, in normal conditions, spiders actually float above the ground, but this is often not noticeable due to the difference between the player's height and a spider's height. Oh wow, so now they're letting spiders cheat in the game? Speaking of cheating in the game though, when switching to spectator mode and taking an Enderman's point of view adds a shader that inverts colors in the game, suggesting that they see the end as an island of blue cobblestone in a white sky, with white pillars, white Enderman with green eyes, and a white Ender Dragon also with green eyes. They also see cobblestone as endstone, cool way to put things into perspective. However, putting things into perspective, because a slime's movement speed is tied to its size, it becomes impossible for the player to outrun a size 8 slime on flat ground without potion effects. Makes sense when you think about it. What also makes sense is that the ghast are one of the only mobs in the Nether that the Zoglin does not attack, and this is probably due to the fact that they're in the air 99% of the time. The silverfish is a mob you can only encounter once throughout your playthrough when exploring the strongholds, but did you know that the silverfish appeared in the April Fool's 2.0 update as the redstone bug? Pretty funny pun if you ask me. What's also funny is that blazes can see the players through walls. Wow, what's up with all these mobs using cheats in the game? Nevertheless, a funny feature. Another funny feature was the Elder Guardian textures having the name Jeb on it. Quite thoughtful of the developers. You'll pretty rarely come across endermites while playing Minecraft, but however, did you know that they are suffocated by the soul sand when stepped on? Poor little things. The Ender Dragon is Minecraft's main boss. By using F3+B in Java Edition to show hitboxes, it reveals that the Ender Dragon's head rotation faces in the opposite direction to where its real head faces. This is also the main reason why the Ender Dragon faces the wrong way when set in a monster spawner. When placed or spawned on a slime block, Guardians start bouncing and continue doing this, and each bounce higher than the last, until each bounce brings the Guardians to 17 blocks high. You wouldn't expect them to be bouncing around with joy. Minecraft has a lot of unique crossover Easter eggs with other games, and one of these is if the evoker uses the sheep color conversion spell, it is a reference to the priest units from the Age of Empires where they can turn enemy units into friendly units after making a wololo sound. The reason hoglins run away from warp fungi is because they dislike their smell. Similarly, when asked if nether portals smell bad to hoglins, Henrik responded saying that the reason hoglins run away from the nether portals is because they found the sound annoying. Wow, how very petty of them. Husks are a unique version of zombies, and they are mainly found in the desert biomes, but they are actually slightly taller than regular zombies. Magma cubes are the only mob native to the Nether that can truly swim in water, as zombified piglins, skeletons, and wither skeletons actually sink in the water, piglins, piglin brutes, and hoglins sink in water and drown, endermen, blazes, and striders take damage in water immediately, and ghasts ignore water while floating around. At one point, before the release of Snapshot 18W10A, the phantom texture was made red, but it was decided that it appeared too much like a nether mob, as many of the nether mobs are red. The golden arm guard is meant to work as a protection for piglin brutes, and this is the reason behind their high health. A pillager has a 1 in 16,000 chance of dropping crossbow enchanted with 2 piercing 1 enchantments, and a 1 in 409,000 chance of dropping 1 with piercing 1 and multi-shot, and a 1 in 3.5 million chance of dropping 1 with piercing 1, multi-shot, unbreaking 3, and quick charge 1. Ravagers were mainly inspired by the Manticore, particularly the version from Dungeons & Dragons. If given the invisibility effect, only the shulker's shell becomes invisible. They look quite cute now. According to the Minecraft website, the stray slowness arrows actually represent frozen arrows that freeze on impact, making the player much slower. Vexes are heavily implied to be allays that have been corrupted by dark magic, and as the word allay means to ease and the word vex means to frustrate, it makes sense. The Johnny Easter egg is a reference to the movie The Shining, and when you put a name tag called Johnny on a Vindicator, it makes him go absolutely bonkers on other mobs. And this is a reference to the man attacking the family with an axe and says the ironic line, "Here's Johnny," while breaking a door down. For the Warden, some previous names being considered for the Warden were the Shade, the Stalker, and the Hollowed. For the Stalker, he had a creepy white skin, and honestly, if this got added into Minecraft, I might have considered quitting the game. When drinking a potion, a witch's nose actually lifts and points forward. A witch's nose slightly wiggles when idle. For the Wither, there's a painting showing the soul sand and Wither skeleton skull formation needed to spawn a Wither. Kind of a neat tutorial inside of the game. Wither skeletons can't fit through the gap under the staircase of the Nether wart room in the fortresses. In terms of Zoglins, Hoglins will actually become Zoglins also in the end, which is surprising as it's a whole different dimension. Curing a zombie villager chicken jockey is the only way to actually get a villager riding a chicken without the use of commands. The Bogs reload their bows much slower to their other counterparts. Breezes drop breeze rods only if the damage is listed as a player kill. Any natural deaths like hovering into lava that the player placed are not counted. This makes farming breeze rods difficult. Iron golems can actually fling giants. Pretty funny feature if you ask me, as they're absolutely huge compared to them. Bats can't be attached to leads, even though they are a passive friendly mob. Bees pollinate the top half of sunflowers. While a cave spider's hitbox is only 13.9% the volume of a normal spider's, its model's volume is 34.3% as large. The shadow is even larger compared to the normal spider's shadow. It has an area of 49%. Kind of odd measurements. Mojang specifically stated that they will not consider allowing dolphins to be tamed or ridden. They also decided against adding behaviors that deviate significantly from real-life dolphins, such as fleeing from the drowned. A drowned chicken jockey floats to the surface because the chicken it is riding floats, causing the drowned riding it to burn in sunlight during the day, resulting in a chicken in the middle of the ocean or river where the drowned jockey spawned in. Quite ironic. Foxes actually pounce whenever they see chickens as they switch into hunt mode. The sounds for goats were recorded from real domestic goats, however goats in Minecraft are actually based upon mountain goats. Some carpets on a llama's back represent certain mobs. A green carpet uses the faces of the creeper, while a purple carpet gains eyes like those of the enderman. A llama wearing a grey carpet has a mask similar to that of a superhero or a bandit. The brown panda, known as the Kinling panda, is actually a subspecies of the giant panda discovered in the 1960s. In Minecraft Legends, piglins don't zombify in the overworld because they breathe in netherwort spores. Adding polar bears to Minecraft was actually a request by Jeb's wife. She was told they'd be added if they never had a bear of their own. Once their son was born, he was named Bjorn, which is Swedish for bear, and polar bears were added. If you want to talk about trading llamas, but this also applies to normal llamas, they can actually kill another llama. When the player hits a llama and hides behind another, the spit will hurt the llama the player is hiding behind, and this will lead to a deadly battle. Both llamas will not stop spitting at one another until one dies. Attacking a wild wolf in peaceful mode aggravates the wolf and its group, but they do no damage. For zombified piglins, but this also applies to zombie pigmen, the pre-texture update texture file has THX Xaphobia written on the unused section as a credit by Notch to the skin's original creator. Originally, Mojang considered having allays naturally spawn within forest biomes, however the reason they went with pillager outposts and woodland mansions was because they wanted to highlight the companionship aspect. It has also been theorized that the reason for why villagers capture allays in the first place is likely because of their connection with the Vexes. Spiders are afraid of armadillos, possibly due to the fact that they eat the spider eyes. Even though we don't have a green axolotl in the game, the green variant appears in the Caves and Cliffs Part 1 announcement trailer and Caves and Cliffs recap. When asked on a livestream, Agnes said she cannot say why the green variant was cut from the game. The camel is the tallest passive mob in Minecraft, being 2.375 blocks tall, and is the only passive mob with a height greater than 2 blocks. In real life, cats have been known for their ability to flip upright during a fall, particularly larger ones, though they still might be injured by landing. This fact is actually reflected in Minecraft because they are not damaged by falls at all. When a chicken is killed off the ledge, the corpse also falls more slowly than normal and the wings continue flapping. Interestingly, cods in Minecraft have 2 dorsal fins, while all real members of the genus Gadus have 3 dorsal fins. Cows are visually based on the Norwegian red cattle. A player riding a donkey is dragged along if the donkey is being pulled by a lead, and can even be lifted up into the air in the same way. Originally, frogs were actually meant to eat fireflies, but this was scrapped as in real life, some fireflies are poisonous to some frogs. Instead, now they can eat small slimes and small magma cubes. In version 1.17, the only prerequisite for glow squids to spawn was to be in an underground water source, even with light in it, but this was later removed and now they require full darkness to spawn. Horses eating golden foods comes from the Greek myth of Arion, a super fast horse which only ate precious minerals like gold. When struck by lightning, the mushroom becomes a brown mushroom. The mule is the only hybrid mob in Minecraft. Originally, ocelots were known as cats and were able to be bred, however now they're pretty useless as cats were added in later into the game. For parrots, warnings against feeding chocolate or avocados to parrots are referenced in 2 different splash texts. Pigs used to be required to complete the When Pigs Fly achievement in Java Edition, where you would have to fall more than 5 blocks while riding on a pig, but this was later removed. The pufferfish has 3 different model types when turning from passive to defensive mode. The rabbit has a unique variant called the Killer Bunny, which is a reference to the killer rabbit of Caerbannog from the British comedy film Monty Python The Holy Grail, which it was formerly named. The villager skins added in the Village and Pillage update were actually inspired by 2018 fashion shows such as Gucci's. The Wandering Trader was inspired by the traveling merchants from various RPG games, specifically ones that appear to provide players with healing items in dangerous places. Skeleton horses can be fed while being ridden by the skeleton. The Sniffer's walking animation was inspired by the leg movements of centipedes. A snow golem can actually spawn naturally if an enderman picks up the carved pumpkin from a pillager outpost and places it on top of 2 snow blocks, however this is very rare. Hitting a squid underwater causes it to rise approximately 1/3 to 1/2 of a block. For striders, if commands are used to saddle a baby strider and the player rides the baby strider in lava, the player takes fire damage due to not being high enough to avoid the lava. A tadpole dies in less than 20 seconds when outside of the water. There are 2,700 naturally occurring variants of tropical fish of different colors and shapes with unique names in Bedrock Edition and 3,072 of these in Java Edition. Cats actually attack baby turtles, and I'm really disappointed in this fact because I love cats. Salmons tend to swim in schools with a maximum of 7 salmon per school. They can swim up to approximately 4 to 5 blocks in waterfalls, emulating the behavior of real-world salmon that leap into and over small waterfalls to reach their spawning ground. For chicken jockeys in Java Edition, the chance for a baby zombie villager to spawn wearing full enchanted diamond armor, holding an enchanted iron sword in his left hand while riding a chicken is about 1 in 2.91082 times 10 over the power of 22. I have no idea what that number is, easily making it the rarest mob in the game. For hoglin jockeys, there can actually be multiple baby piglins stacked on top of each other on top of a hoglin. Ravager jockeys can come up with 8 different villager types. This includes standard pillagers, vindicators, evokers, illusioners, pillager raid captains, vindicator raid captains, evoker raid captains, and illusioner raid captains, although the illusioners are actually an unused mob at the moment and can't actually spawn on these. For the spider jockey, if either type of spider is spawned in the Nether, either with a spawn egg or commands, since they do not naturally spawn there, and occurs as a jockey, it has an 80% chance for its skeleton rider to be a wither skeleton. If either type of spider is actually spawned in a snowy biome though, with a view of the sky, and occurs as a jockey, it has an 80% chance of its skeleton rider to be a stray. Strider jockeys could have multiple striders on top of each other, making a sort of strider tower, which is really cool. However guys, if you know some other facts about any of the mobs, let us know in the comments down below. Also, if I missed anything, be sure to mention it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and also consider checking out some of my other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day. Take care, and peace guys.